Hello, my dotlings, and welcome to another dot bait video. I realized that I have not posted since I shaved my head, and it's already starting to grow back out. I'm actually kind of keeping it short. I like it bald. I really do. There's little bald spots there, but that's part of why I like my hair was kind of like getting thinner, and I'm a non-binary person, so I just went ahead and shaved it. I kind of wanted to talk about what being a psychic means. Like, all through October, of course my feed is what it is. I don't know who else is seeing what else, but I got a lot of rebuking. I don't know why. For some reason, I think I don't know why. I don't know why, but every now and again YouTube will just go on this like kick and show me these like anti-witch videos, and I don't know how. You never really know how much of it is like really out there and how much of it is this like insular group of people. But certainly I have come across anti-psychic, anti-pagan, anti-witch, not always all in the same thing, because these are three different things, and I have met people that will have a serious problem with one and not the others, although usually the one is either paganism or witchcraft, because usually if you can get past being a psychic, you know, like if you're cool with pagans but not witches, usually psychics or whatever. Although I have had people have problems with psychics and not witches or pagans because they felt like being psychic was a little bit dishonest. Dishonest, yes, that is the word we shall use here. Okay, like, and it's always funny to kind of run across these people. It very much sometimes feels like ran across this pagan chat group that was they were anti-drag queen, but they swore they weren't anti-trans. I don't know how you think that works, but okay. I don't have to understand it. It is what it is. I don't have to like or respect it, but I can move on with my life knowing that exists. Whatever. If you're watching this channel, then you know I am a polypan pagan Pisces, neurodivergent, mentally ill, non-binary person. That's what I am, and I'm proud of that. Like, I survived all these years. Anyhow, but I wanted to stick to the psychic thing because I have had plenty of people who are deeply spiritual. They're having spiritual experiences that are Christian, and I have to adjust the framing of what I tell people without compromising my personal beliefs, because I believe what I believe because I've seen what I've seen, and I'm not going to change that for nobody. Just how it is. That being said, I believe that there's a place on this great big world for a whole lot of people, and as long as people are not aggressive towards me, I have no reason to be aggressive towards them. Just because I believe maybe differently, my idea of how the universe is structured is slightly different. I also understand that we're all blind people feeling up an elephant. So how it works for me, a full 4.5 minutes in, how it works for me is I kind of believe that there is this like connective tissue that binds us all together through the force of love. It's kind of like the pool that it's kind of like it's kind of like beyond the third dimensional understanding, so why do we keep trying to put words to it? But certainly I can get messages from that. I also I sometimes speak directly to spirits, and that's always an interesting experience, because when people die, at least how I perceive it, I'm not going to argue with you on reality. I'm going with what I have seen. What I have experienced is that when we die, sometimes our soul may linger around a little bit. Most times, people say goodbye before they cross over into the place where the living have no knowledge. And I think we pass through this place many times, because I do believe in reincarnation. But once you've crossed over and you're kind of like either waiting for the next round or just chilling out, you're able to come back and interact with the living. Although I do think that once you're reincarnated, you can't get a hold of that spirit anymore. Because I know, I'm pretty sure that I know somebody who passed away, visited everybody pretty quickly, crossed over, came back, chilled out for a little while, and then got reincarnated really fast. Really fast. Within a matter of a few years, honestly, which is pretty fast to get reincarnated. Because after I believe this person got reincarnated, and I'm not speculating on who they got reincarnated as, because that's not healthy. That is not healthy. We'll see if they start to develop those same attributes, same personhood qualities later on in life. But you can be reincarnated and not be the same person at all. But also, one of the points of dying is to erase the the baggage. I'm not saying it's cool. I certainly wasn't happy about the person who passed. But I'm glad to have the person that may have been that person reincarnated. I'm glad they're in my life now. Obviously they're a child still. They're very, very young. Anyway, that is just an interesting observation. But so I've talked to spirits on either side of that experience. And certainly you can tell when somebody has not crossed over, or you can tell when somebody's earthbound. And you can tell when they're coming back to convey some great knowledge, or just be a guardian, hang out. Because sometimes they do. They just come in and hang out and chill. So that's one way. That's how mediumship works. That's mediumship, when you're talking to dead people. And you got to be real careful with that. You got to be real careful with that. You're not getting numbers. You're not getting earthly knowledge. Which is my excuse as to why they don't give over the bank accounts and whatnot. Although sometimes they will give over a date or whatnot, Anyway, you do have to be careful with mediumship, because if people think you can talk to their dead loved ones, they'll keep coming back for that. And my way of handling that is look, let me teach you how to talk to your dead family member. Which I think is important. I really think it's important to sometimes coach people through that. If their loved one hasn't crossed over, I'm look, no, we need to do this. We need to help them cross over. That is a process that needs to occur. Which is kind of complicated, but I can definitely tell when a spirit gets trapped too long, they will start to forget their face. And people get trapped for all the same reasons they get trapped in life. That's a whole other video. That's not really what I want to talk about. I was talking about how readings work. So the third type of way I do a reading is by kind of looking into somebody's energy field. Sometimes I may have them I won't say take a small charge, because it sounds really, really that's not quite, it is kind of how it works, but it sounds worse than it is. A lot of times this just comes in the way of like letting them shuffle the cards so their energy is on it for the cards to read. I have had moments where it just felt drained or whatnot. Because sometimes you'll have somebody come up for a reading who just wants to drain your energy. And even if you're reading using the divine energy, they can still just suck the life out of you. It's kind of a bizarre situation because I am not using my energy to read. I am using divine energy, or I am just reading the energy the person is giving me to read. You know, sometimes that, you know, especially palms are a great way to look at this. I'm literally just looking into your energetic field. There's no energy exchange. There's just an examination of your energy. There may be a connection, but it's not really the same thing. I'm not taking any of your energy. You're not taking any of mine. I'm just looking at you. So those are kind of the three main ways. If I ever did a whole video on training somebody how to be a psychic, like that's probably the format I would use. That would be the structure I would use. Right now, I am really actually working on this cleansing video that I have been working on well over a year now. I don't even know when I started it at this point. I do know it's been at least a full year, and I have watched things pop up and go down. It's kind of wild. Like, it's just been a wild year. It's been a wild year, and I'm losing my office. I won't say losing my office. That's a very bad way to put it, because I am willingly relinquishing my office because it does not serve the purpose it once did. I have a better space in my home, and I think having my computer in my home will really directly impact my productivity, because I want to work on my videos and this and that and the other. And honestly, the thing that kind of tanked my videos in the first place was getting the office. I needed it at the time because I couldn't bring clients to my home. Very loud truck. I couldn't bring clients to my home, so I was meeting people in like graveyards and coffee shops, which is cool. And honestly, I'm not opposed to kind of doing that again. I am kind of, though, because it was reaching a point, and I think I'm still at that kind of point where it's expensive to go to the coffee shop, and people get weirded out of the graveyard. But I'm going to be able to hopefully set up a home office, which will be really cool. So, got my fingers crossed. I'm doing it. I'm going to make it happen. Safe travel and much profit to you.